shout out to Hoops Jargon. Man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoops Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoops Jargon. Shout out to Hoops Jargon. What's up, everybody, man? Welcome to the Big Baller Brand Podcast. We talking about everything about the Big Baller Brand, featuring the host, Cliff Franks, and my boys, D Brown. Anything we doing today?
Hey.
How we doing today?
we might want to change it up after last week, man. Woo.
Man.
Yeah. We probably do need a chaser after last week.
We need several chasers after last week.
Several chasers.
I ain't wearing no Cowboy shit today. I'm protesting.
Oh man, this my way. Nah.
I'm protesting that bullshit ass performance. Let's attack the elephant in the room.
After that ass whipping.
Bruh. You know what? Ass whoopings happen in sports. Mm-hmm. But the way that ass whooping came to that team, I'm like, what the hell's Fargo Bank was that we put up, man? You know, I still love the boys. I'm protesting. I'm not putting no Cowboy shit on today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all mentioned last week. You know, there were signs that at some point we're gonna lose a game, which happens. I mean, only the 72 Dolphins could say that they ran the entire table, without losing the game. But it's just the manner in which that they completely shut the Cowboys down on offense. And you got a team with an inferior offense, and they ran the ball at will on the Cowboys with, running backs for all intents and purposes. You can find them on Craigslist. So I don't understand. It's the level. There's levels to this. So this was probably one of the worst televised ass whippings since Chauncey on Minnesota Society got pistol whipped by Kane. It was bad. It was that bad.
It was that bad.
Not the Chauncey ass whipping, dog. Damn.
Yep.
Man.
What you guys say about it, D Brown?
I want to be clear. Well, let's just be clear. I'm going to start the show by completely giving Denver their props.
Right.
They lined up and kicked Dallas' ass for 60 minutes. Bottom line,
60 minutes.
Period, end of report. We did allude to the fact that, they beat their ass. There's no sugarcoating. There's no dancing around it. There's no nothing. They lined up, and they didn't even do anything fancy. It was like hat on hat. We're gonna stop the running game. We're gonna disrupt Dak Prescott. They basically lined up with an attitude and didn't give them nothing. And I know there's a lot to unpack in terms of some individual performances. I know we get into later in the show, but I'm gonna start my portion by giving the Denver Broncos their entire props. They beat that ass, which was the biggest upset of the season, or of the week, I should say, because even with a reshuffle deck that Dallas was going with the offensive line and all that deal, nobody, including the broadcast, if you watched it and listened to it, you kept waiting for Dallas to be what Dallas has been up until that game, and it never happened, and that was a credit to the Denver Broncos. So let me start that part of it by giving them their entire props. They beat that ass. The fans won the crowd noise and shit in the stands. I mean, it was an ass whooping from a fan perspective. All three phases on the field, all of it. So shout out to the Broncos for lineup and beating that ass. Now,
I heard that they even stepped on the team bus and slapped the shit out of the bus driver. It was just that
bad. Everybody,
the dude at the pro shop got whooped, like the popcorn man, the beer man.
The
security guard, everybody got their ass whooped.
Right.
Everybody need that. Feel the pain.
They Debo Dallas, bro. They straight Debo Dallas.
Yeah.
At home.
My game, punk. That's exactly. Yeah. Debo, man. They literally rolled up.
That's crazy, man.
They took Dallas to chain last week, straight up. They just Debo that ass. So, if anybody thinking we're gonna come on here and give excuses and lightly dance around that, hell no. They beat that ass. So
hey,
now
we don't do that over here.
I like to start off, find out at my two colleagues here as to some of the particular reasons why they beat that ass. One of which that all three of us have been crowing loudly, even during the streak on this show, and that was Dallas is not going to go anywhere unless they do something about the run game. They cannot defend the run game. Mm-hmm. And I kept tripping on those glossy stats they kept reading, which is one of, for all you stat mavens out there like to hold on to stats instead of watching the games and getting context. During the broadcast last week, they kept glossing over how Dallas was only giving up 86 yards a game, and they were first in this stat in the run defense. And that's like, how? That's how stats can really lie to you, because if you watch Dallas play and if you've listened to this show for any length of time, you have heard us consistently say, yeah, this is all well and good, and they get wins, but a lot of times it was in spite of really weak Dallas run defense. It was going to bite them in the ass, where we think this thing was going to end up at the end of the season. But guess what? It bit them in the ass Sunday because they could not stop Denver's run game. And it wasn't, these fancy design scheme deals. It was a line up, turn around, hand the ball up, right up the gut, couldn't get off a block, and 15, 18 yards downfield later. Even on third longs, they converting third downs, man. So that's that going into this week in terms of what concerned me from last week going into this one is that's item one. Richard, I know you got a couple more.
And let me give the comment first for you, Rock Rich. That punt block was a return back. Immediately knew it was over. Yeah, at that point, any win we had in our sale was done.
Oh man,
it's done.
It was done.
It was done.
Was not our Sunday. You knew
it's done. You knew it. Just all right, man. Mail it in, dog.
You knew right then. I said they are not winning this football game.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right.
Further, have either one of y'all ever seen that?
No.
Came immediately to memory?
That's the first time I've seen that.
I was trying to think all the football I've seen, or as long as I've been watching football. Because, as a matter of fact, I've kind of fancied myself being up even on the obscure rules. I had no idea what the hell went on that play, man. I was like, wait a minute. How do you get the ball back? Had no idea.
Fresh set of downs on top of that. Lord have mercy.
That's when I knew.
That's when you knew
it's
not your day.
But you know what? They deserve to lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dallas deserved that L. I mean, if anybody begged for an L and got it, just like they asked for it, it was Dallas last week.
And we're lucky that Denver,
three phases.
They're lucky that Denver is not a better offensive team than they were, because they dominated the time position, and Denver, had some opportunities that they missed on offense. Even though Bridgewater had a solid game, if they had a little bit more talent on offense, that would have been like a 50-piece.
That is a 50-piece. Yeah.
No doubt. No question. That's
so just look at this stat right here. And remember, we said one of the key metrics I said last week: time position. Time position last week: Denver 41 minutes and 12 seconds. Cowboys 18:46. Ain't no way in hell you winning that game.
And that's what we said though. It's like that's how they're gonna win their game. Right. In time of possession, which that's how they've been winning games against the NFC East in particular. They're 3-0 against the NFC East now. I threw that stat out there just kind of half-heartedly.
Right.
But that is what they do. They choke out NFC East teams, and we became another victim of that phenomenon. And I just –
that's crazy.
There's no way – I mean, I knew it was possible, but there's just no way you would think that – well, let me say this. Our two gaffes on fourth down did attribute to the onslaught. Because us not converting early, that did lead the opportunity for them to control the game. Let me say that.
It set the tone. Absolutely.
It set the tone. The wrong way.
It made them get sloppy because
I'm not even mad at them for going, but goddamn, we got to convert.
Right. It's like a boxer would, saying the boxer is desperate. He know he's behind in points, so he starts swinging wild, trying to go for the knockout. And leaves himself open, and he get caught on the chin. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we would have converted at least one of those, it would have been a different ball game. We know that. But you gaff two of them, you start in the hole like Rich just said, bro. It's rough sledding from that point. Because psychologically, you're deficient. I don't care what nobody says. Psychologically, you don't think the same way because you left points on the board.
Right.
And you gave an opponent we touched on last week when we were doing the recap before we jumped off. You gave an opponent that you lined up expecting to beat. and we've all seen it for years. When you give an opponent early confidence, right, and then you continually give them opportunities as the game wanes on, and now they're really confident.
Right.
The genie's out of the bottle then, and it's just a snowball.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what happened. It started with those 2 plays that Cliff referenced on the 4th down gas, and then that actually kind of moves into some of the, because I got smoked for some individuals across the way, some people that we've been like giving their flowers. I'm going to start with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was not good. Dak Prescott had been outstanding up before the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he injured that calf on an outstanding Dak Prescott play. And he had been fantastic through how many weeks before that. But Dak Prescott was terrible. Now, was he under pressure a lot from
Yes, he was.
Whatever the hell that was at left tackle? Yes.
Steele. They put Steele.
Terence Steele didn't have
He's still going to be at left tackle today.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm about tired of Tyron Smith, man, and his shit.
I'm tired of Tyron Smith, bro. And all that. Right.
But
Dak left a lot of plays out there. He missed a lot.
And he held the ball too damn long. Like, to your point, you know that you don't have Tyron Smith out there. You know you got Terence Steele at left tackle. You get that ball out of your hands faster, man. Like, your internal clock should be ticking much faster, knowing that you don't have your all-pro left tackle there. You got, your swing tackle starting. You know damn well that ball got to come out faster, man. You can't put that all on Steele. Steele had a horrible game. I'll admit that. But I also, 2 things. When one, Dak held the ball for too long. Number 2, they didn't do anything offensively from a play call perspective to help him. You see that your tackle's getting beat. Put a tight end over there.
That's where I'm going.
You know what I'm saying? Have your running back go chip. Put a
fullback. Get back in that jumbo package. Shit.
Dude, run jumbo. Run, you know what I'm saying? Run. You're going 3 or 4 wide. Take one of them receivers out, put an extra lineman in. Something. Do something to help them out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, don't just sit there and let the house burn down.
So
that's Jason Garrett type shit.
Right. So, okay. So you guys smoothly segued into the next dude I got smoked for. The Bee. We've been lauding the Bee all year. This was.
Hey, but before you cook, D Brown, hold on. Before you cook, hold on 1 second. Before you cook, hey man, if y'all in the stream, like this stream, it helps bring the algorithm up.
And
share. Got to keep this thing going. Share the stream, guys. This is the realest Cowboys podcast out, and we ain't gonna sugarcoat a goddamn thing. So y'all show y'all if you like the content, please help share that.
We'll have a little extra for y'all too, because we got the Thanksgiving thing coming up. So.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
The same way y'all going to the store buying turkeys and stuffing and rice and giblet gravy and all that. You know what I'm saying? Pass this podcast on to people. You gonna sit down, get you some Cowboys with no chaser, then gonna eat afterwards. So put that on the menu for Thanksgiving also.
There you go, goddamn. All right, so go ahead, keep rocking. And I want to say, Brent Jackson, shout out to Brent, our unofficial stat.
My man, Brent.
Yeah, man. So Collins did not play well. You absolutely
Brent the brain.
Yeah.
We're going to call you the brain going forward.
Yeah, man. Seriously. Go ahead, D. Brown, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so the other cat I got smoked for before we get to these Falcons. I had smoked for the Bee. And y'all know the Bee, again, we've been giving the Bee his flowers, deserving it. So, Bee has called some brilliant games. He's come up with some brilliant schemes. The fact I look back at the Minnesota game and what he came up with, for Cooper Rush, I was just like, man, wow. But as we have touched on throughout the course of an NFL season, the season just takes its ebbs and flows, its peaks and valleys, and you just gotta, you don't get too high after the wins, you don't freak the hell out when you lose, but you understand that adversity is definitely going to come, and there are going to be some days where everybody is going to be off, where it's the run game, it's the pass game, it's the defense, the special teams, and even the coaching. And we're going to get that smoke to the Bee, because this was not the Bee's finest hour either.
No.
You guys alluded to it earlier. I thought there was definitely some things that he could have and likely should have adjusted to help pull Steele out, because this is the game management field thing that Beef has really been good at this year. But Sunday was not good, because it was apparent early on that Terence Steele was struggling, just even from a technique standpoint, playing from the left side. So, like you said, Richard, Dak didn't help him at all holding the ball, which was surprising because Dak was only behind Brady of going to the game and getting the ball out. And then you had play design or help or personnel packaging that you didn't help the offense out of weaving. So the Bees get smoked too. He too was off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we got to go to the big fella. My man McCarty.
Let's get it. And shout out to Minnie Davis, man. Always loyal to the podcast every Sunday. You are much appreciated. Appreciate you being a part of this show.
You are appreciated.
Keep on rocking, D Brown. You over there cooking, man. Go ahead.
Man, so then we got McCarty. Now correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I've had a few shots since then. Now the first fourth down was absolutely justifiable because they got great field position on the opening kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was that more in Dallas's territory? Am I mistaken there?
I can't remember the exact place.
I want
to say they were in Cowboys territory.
Okay. All right. So, Evan Florida game, and I know hindsight is 2015.
2020. Yep.
Because of the way things had gone in that series, was that just misapplied arrogance and just a stupid play call?
It was just a stupid play call. It was just stupid.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Man, I thought maybe I was tripping, but I was going to bring it up.
No, it was just stupid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually watching the UT game last night, and it reminded me of that. So these cats had fourth and 1, and they tried to kill the clock, to beat the Longhorns before they go into overtime. And they run a quarterback draw on 4th and 1. Mind you, they already been stopped the first 3 downs. They got the box stacked. They got 9 guys in the box, and they run a quarterback draw and come up short. And then UT scores a touchdown, which they eventually lost anyway. But it reminded me of that same play.
Yeah,
like, you get paid for this, man, and we sit on the couch and got this figured out. So, like, maybe they need to start giving us money.
I was really surprised. That's a great point that you made, Richard, and a really good comparison of the UT play last night, because on that initial 4th down that Denver stuffed, they had 9, maybe 10 guys on like Zeke, you are not running this ball. I was blown.
It looked like a punt rush. Like it had everybody on the run like they were trying to go block the punt.
The Bees didn't go play action there. And
how obvious could it be?
Yeah. And so when you look back at it, man, you saw so many things that set the tone for just what was an abysmal day. Then you had Coop dropping a first down in his breadbasket. Coop had dropped a pass all year.
All year, and you drop an obvious
wide open.
That's not hyperbole, y'all. That was the first pass he dropped.
That's not hyperbole.
And he literally.
And I want to say it was like October of last year that he dropped this last pass. Right. Like it was just part of last season and all of this year that he had dropped the pass.
Boy, got to tighten one little screw, man. So
Right. So it was one of those days, compounded by the fact, because again, we're not giving excuses on the show. It was one of those days where Dallas is misfiring, which was compounded by the fact that Denver was kicking their ass. Let me say that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the optics of it made it as bad as it was. Not that it appeared. That's how it was. Dallas was way off their game across the board. And Denver was kicking their ass like, okay, y'all going to be off today? Okay, we're going to really help y'all look really bad because we're beating that ass. You know, did they have double-digit first downs for the game? I don't think
the Broncos. Actually, I got the Denver had 23 first downs. Dallas 14. That's totally
dominant.
That was
23 first downs.
Okay,
and the Cowboys had 14.
That's the ball game.
But they went way late in the game before they got to like 10, right? Like before the garbage time stuff happened. Okay, right. So
that stat right there alone is usually, if you have a decent offensive team with decent efficiency, that's usually a 30-point loss. You got double-digit deficiency in first downs, that usually means that they scored on you multiple times. So you got a 21 to 30-point loss right there, just on that stat alone. So
right,
the score to me, you see how bad the game is. Right.
Yeah. You're right.
And I appreciate y'all for carrying the show right now. Because last night I kicked it with my boy Marquise Johnson, man. He coaches for the Minnesota Vikings. So I was hanging out with some Vikings coaches out here in LA, man. And last night with my ass, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Man, my damn eyes all irritated. Man, I'm over here snooting, man. Y'all, thank y'all, man. Y'all put a Jordan flu game for your boy right now.
so I like to
That's
introduce
where the Bulls head comes
my
from.
name is Cooper Rush. That's Tony Pollard over there. I'm Cooper Rush.
Man, shout out to the Vikings in town. I think they play the Rams, and so yeah, man. Shout out to those coaches out there, man. Very, very cool dudes. It's funny, and I want to digress just a little bit with this. It's funny who you meet in life based on the people you know. My boy Marquise went to Prairie View with me. He played football. I played basketball, obviously, and now he's worked his way up to coaching the NFL ranks. And it's just funny, man, how life just meets you. You be like, hey, bro, I'm in LA, man. Come pull up, and it's just crazy, man. So shout out to Marquise. I'm gonna have him on the show, man, to just talk about his journey from going from HBCU.
Good guy, man. When you do good things, man, blessings chase you down. You know,
blessings chase you down. And it's his second NFL job, so it ain't fluke. It ain't happenstance. He also worked with Jackson State this offseason.
He knows Coach Broussard. Coach Kirk Broussard is a good friend of mine. Also, I know he was briefly with the. I think he was a running backs coach with the Vikings. I know they know each other, so yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The trolls have arrived. Look at Marcellus. Yep. He ain't been on one stream.
Okay. Right.
Go ahead, man.
I was waiting on him.
Yeah. And look, I was hoping Marcellus would be on. I mean, he giving his team full props. So before we get up out of these facts. So Marcellus, in case you missed it, your Broncos kicked the Cowboys whole ass for 60 minutes. In case you missed it. It wasn't
happy than a pig and slop.
It wasn't what Dallas didn't do, although they helped. It was what Denver did. Denver beat that ass like Debo. They beat that ass. So if you missed the first part,
and took your mama chain, your grandmama chain.
Cowboys ran back to the locker room like this right here.
He gonna cry in the car.
They cried in the car. Dog.
I cried.
Shout out to my boy Marcellus Reed because I know he's wanting to hear that, and that's real.
Now I know you said you had some smoke for folks. I got smoke for somebody that we're not mentioning.
Cook, man, Cook.
Get it, Rich.
Number 7, bro. What's up, Mr. Diggs?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what happened last game.
Yes,
but Trayvon Diggs was looking a little Antonio Brownish last game, man. I don't know.
He got worked. He got worked. So
you did an outstanding job. You basically shut down one of the best receivers in the league last week. This week you come out and you lay a complete egg and you get smoked,
bro.
Tim Patrick? Tim Patrick is the weather guy? Who? Yeah. I mean,
that's a good one. He got
work. I tweeted after the game, man. 2 things I think happened last week. Dak Prescott is no longer in the MVP race, and Trayvon Diggs is no longer the defensive player.
You hang that shit up,
just because of that one game. That's how bad it was.
To be fair, I never said that. Like, dog, he has this uncanny interception thing going, and that is just I ain't never seen nothing like it. But for 1 second, I'm not gonna say he's better than Jalen Ramsey.
No.
Shutdown corner.
No, I'm not crazy with that.
And the reason why I don't do it is because when you put people up there high and they have a bad game, then you start shitting on them.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't believe in that shit, man. Because you know how people are. People think in polar opposites. It's either you the greatest thing or you suck.
Right.
And I was just like, nah, I'm not entertaining that shit.
I appreciate the progression at all. Right. And he's what he is a budding star. Budding, meaning he's
star.
Not arrived.
Right.
He's not arrived yet. He's not the proven entity that a Jalen Ramsey is.
Absolutely.
That or guys, superstar cornerbacks that we've seen in years past.
Richard Sherman.
Trayvon Diggs. Exactly. Trayvon Diggs is showing signs that he can get there because he's a dynamic young playmaking cornerback. But if you keep that mindset, you like the 3 of us on this show know there's gonna be days like last Sunday where you're gonna get, like you said, you go out against an Adam Thielen and a Justin Jefferson and you put in work, and then you come back with David Patrick the next week. Look, who gets an NFL check like you do,
right?
And work your ass. I mean,
these guys watch film, man. I keep trying to tell you.
Hey,
watch film.
I want to make this quick point, Rich, and I'll let you cook. I interviewed Marcus Fizer 2 days ago. Marcus Fizer, great, Iowa State, Chicago Bulls.
Yes, sir.
He was a part of that first iteration, of the baby Bulls. And he was just talking about the ghost of playing in the United Center, the house that Jordan built. And he was just talking about sometimes, like, you just got to respect the level. He was like, one day, Donald Foyle was unfucking stoppable. See, I couldn't. I had 3 fouls. I had no clue how. I could do nothing with a Donald foil. So to the point of the sentiment, some days, man, if they scout you correctly and they know your deficiencies, man, you can get cooked by anybody. And so,
well, there's a video right now of Jordan going around Jordan getting cooked by Rex Chapman. You know what I'm saying, from back in the day. I mean, it happens. Of course, the next time they played, MJ was ready for it. It was different. But
for a moment in time, Rex Chapman had that ass.
Right. Absolutely. So that's a great point by both of y'all, man. It's like if you line up and you scout a team well and you execute, which is what Denver did, because their execution was outstanding in all three phases. Starting with their quarterback, because I don't want this show to end without giving enough props to how well and how efficient Teddy Bridgewater was.
Oh yeah,
he's good.
Teddy, man, Bridgewater.
He's good.
You know, I remember the game he had against Dallas when he was with the Saints pitching in for Drew Brees. That one topped that one. That performance Sunday topped that one because he was in game management mode much more so in the Saints game. But he was like, you know what? He was like, man, fuck them. I mean, he was in playmaking mode because those shots he took downfield and connected on against Trayvon Diggs, that's not a game manager's play. Nope. He's like, you know what? Line up over there. We can beat him. And he put the ball there where he can make a play, and they got results. So shout out to Teddy Bridgewater because he was outstanding too.
But he saw first majority out there on that field. And so, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's my coaches always say in Prairie View, man. Fresh pussy out there in Prairie View. Y'all want to be fresh pussy, or you want to go out there and make people go?
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Hawkins, man. Hawkins hilarious, man. That's the funniest coach I had in my life. Go ahead.
So taking some of these concerns into today's matchup, because there are legitimate concerns, and there will be carryover into today's matchup. Because guess what? That run defense is still as concerned as it was before the Broncos game. And last I checked, Terence Steele is still playing the left side.
Yeah, he's starting in left tackle again.
How you feel about that? You think Lyle should be over there?
Yeah, and I don't understand why they didn't make the change. Because, I mean, first of all, offensive line is a rhythm position, right?
Yeah.
So,
you got me.
It's like you learn a dance. So just think about your favorite dance routine. If you learn it one way, that's playing right tackle, for example. You have to learn that whole routine on the other side, and that's switching sides of the line. So it's not as easy of a task as it is. Everybody can't play both sides of the line effectively and then be called upon to switch from one moment to another. So, in all fairness, I understand a bit why Terence Steele struggled because he hadn't played, left tackle in quite a while. Now, you got Lyle Collins, who played left tackle at LSU. He was an All-American. He's an All-American tackling guard. And that's his natural side of the line. And he's fresh off of suspension. So they could have plugged him in, put him in, and, got some work out of him, get him prepared, and he could have stepped in as the left tackle. But they chose to move Steele and put Collins back at right tackle, which I still don't understand why. And then on top of that, he struggles, and you don't do anything to help the man out. So hopefully they made some adjustments in practice week. I hope they plan to use some more jumbo packages and some, 2 tight ends or whatever. But it's pretty obvious to me that he was not comfortable at all last week at left tackle.
And I want to say I appreciate that.
He was great at right tackle. I mean, he was, like I say, I thought he was doing well enough to at least retain the job for a little while, and then you work Leo back into the rotation. But, if you're gonna replace somebody, do a 1-for-1 replacement and stop moving people around on the line.
We moving the shit out of our O-line, and I appreciate your commentary because a lot of people they gloss over O-line play. Like nobody who really goes in depth about the idiosyncrasies of being an offensive lineman. There'll be nobody. So and I know that that's your area of expertise, and so I think your commentary is very important because the average person don't give a shit. They think all 5 fat motherfuckers line them up and then
right, man. And the other big thing is and I dipped out for a second. I'm sure Rich probably touched on this. Is continuity, man. The great offensive lines, have continuity.
Absolutely.
I mean, you line up.
Don't change nothing when you start to work. Don't change nothing. Make as few little changes as possible. Right.
Right, Rich. And as you well know, when we talk about great offensive line play, that we've seen over the years, it was a regular deal. You could name them left to right, and there's a rhythm like any other unit. I mean, the offensive lines move. There's like a really poetic, almost beautiful rhythmic movement to their deal when they cook it, run and pass protection. And the great ones, or even the really good ones, have that because that one guy is accustomed to how to adjust. Even on stunts and twists and all that thing, because they're in that position that they're comfortable in, they can perform in, and they know the guy on either side of them, or the guy next to him, if you're tackles, they know how they move or what have you. So when you disrupt that, then you get shit like Sunday. Again, not to excuse any of it, but he even highlighted how bad, from a technique standpoint, Terence Steele was from a footwork standpoint playing the left. Because versus playing the right. So if you're that disrupting and what's been successful for you going into that game, then you get what you got.
That's what we got. Is what we get from a subservient standpoint. And I want y'all to tackle this question from Brent, man. He says, once Smith comes back, what do you do now? I think that's why Steele is at right tackle.
They're playing Steele at left tackle.
Yeah,
Steele was at right tackle because of Tyron. I mean, because of Leo Collins' suspension. So the plan was to have Steele at right, and then left tackle would be Smith, but with Smith being out, now you got to adjust. So I think what should happen, obviously, you put Smith back as soon as he's well enough to play. Put him back at left. You have to put,
okay, he said left. He said he meant left tackle.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I don't understand. Yeah, that's why he's that left tackle, but I don't understand. You see, it's not working. And then, Steele was doing a good job at right tackle. So, and then Collins already has experience at left tackle. I know he's the swing tackle, but you got to think about what's the best fit for the situation, especially, considering all things. As I mentioned, you want to make as few changes as possible. He's already played 7 or 8 games at right tackle. He's in a rhythm. He's working well. He's doing a great job. Don't change that. Just fix the one problem that you have and just put Leo at left. So that's what I don't understand. And then you let the guy on the island, and you didn't give him any support. So hope they fix that this week, because if not, it's going to be a long way.
Have we heard what's the short, medium term injury input on Tyre? Like how long he may be out?
It's week to week. It's week to week. There's no actual timetable.
Hey man, you gotta just factor in like Tyron Smith has a period, like how women go through. So you just know he gonna at least give you 3-4 games of period time. So we gotta just take it out of our minds.
Yeah, it's gonna happen every year.
For a season.
Right.
Only on Straight No Chaser will you hear the comparison of an All-Pro left tackle time out the game to menstruation. Only on Straight No Chaser.
Am I lying? We know it. We know it's coming.
No cut.
We know it's coming.
No cut. Hell no, you're not lying. That's awesome.
I bet if you look at his picture, he probably got PTO hours on that.
Rich had a funny one. Hey, you missed it. Rich said he got PTO.
He got PTO on this shit. They already know. All right, you don't use your PTO this week? All right. We know. Just make sure you're working for the playoffs, man.
Right.
Oh, that's so funny.
Right.
It's accurate. So it's like we gotta. It's a muscle in our brains that we just know Lyle's gonna be out. I mean, not Lyle. I'm so sorry. Tyron. We know what's gonna happen. Well, shit, Lyle too. Yeah. We know he's gonna be out.
Lyle gonna be out for stupid shit. Like, Tyron gonna be injured. Y'all work this out? Like, okay, Tyron, this week you injured. Lyle, you do something dumb next week when he come back. Like, y'all take turns.
Can y'all synchronize, like menstruation
synchronize
cycles?
This so we can have at least one of y'all.
Synchronize your menstruation cycle. So can they synchronize the injury and fuckery?
Oh my goodness!
Can y'all get on one accord?
Wait till next week to bribe the drug tester. Don't do it this week.
Come on, bro. Oh man, it's so hard to be a Cowboy fan sometimes. And Minnie, I'm gonna get you with the word of the week. We're gonna keep going, but I got you. We're gonna do the word of the week. I got you. All right, so I mean, we ain't talked about the Falcons, man. Let's kind of switch gears. Let's talk about this up and down ass team. With a lot of, I don't say a lot of talent, but they got talent. You got wideouts. You got they got spots. the kind of quarterback
Mm-hmm.
who to me is a Matt Stafford level quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on when he wake up and how
depending on which one you're looking at, because
exactly
right.
You have
you
Matt Stafford. You have Matt Stafford, the Hall of Famer. Then you have Matt Stafford, who looks like Chad Hutchinson's cousin. So you don't know which one's gonna show up.
Yeah. Depending on how he rolled out the bed that day.
Obscure Cowboy reference. I love it.
Mm-hmm. But the thing with him that always has been the issue with him is you move him off his spot, he can't beat you.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they can penetrate and move him off his spot. Now, if he's able to stay on his spot, he gonna light your ass up. That's just being real. I don't care who the receivers are. Matty gonna get the ball to him. But if you move him off his spot, make him uncomfortable, smack him around a few times, you good.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what New England did in the infamous 28-3 game. When they said, okay, they came out on his spot. And sure enough, he handed them that Super Bowl.
How do you lose that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which feeds into a concern, Richard, that I've got into this game, and that's so we hadn't touched on it yet. So Randy Gregory's out.
Huge.
That's massive because Randy Gregory was playing really
He's
well.
our best defensive player, if we're being honest, this year.
Right.
Not named Micah Parsons, maybe.
Not named Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Randy Gregory's been
he's the most impactful for sure.
The most impactful. Yeah. You goddamn right.
Right. And consistently impactful week to week. So that this is part of the adversity that we talked about early in the season. Every team deals with it. Every team has to go with it. So now we're about to see what we
made of. Yeah.
What there's if Dallas has this in their fabric this year, because now you've got an all-pro left tackle that's out. Now you got a guy who was damn sure working himself into certainly a Pro Bowl conversation. Rich, maybe what do you think? Maybe a fringe all-pro conversation.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, but before you do that,
and Gregory, if he had continued to go the way he was going, go ahead.
I'm gonna give Minnie some credit, man, because I didn't know she was a Falcons fan. So you've been keep saying ATL. So I'm super confident in my Falcons, like living with your man, even if he disappoints you, staying by his side. I gotta give Minnie credit because she on everyone we do, nice. And you a Falcons fan, man. You earn so much more respect in my mind. I gotta say that.
Love.
I gotta say that.
That's love.
That's love, man. I gotta say that. Go ahead.
That's love, Minnie. Appreciate you. But yeah, man. This concerns me because, to Richard's point, that's been damn. Atlanta quarterback, I just went brain dead. Matt Ryan. That's been his deal his entire career. I mean, if you sit there and let him plant that back foot with little to no pressure, he is going to kill you. But so that you go in saying Dallas needs to get pressure, but then you ask yourself, where is Dallas going to get that pressure going into this matchup?
Yeah, missing still no D-Lock. Yeah, that's facts.
That's a concern. And what concerns you further is the fact that you still have that run game defense concern. So if they're able to establish the run, and then you've got little to no or inconsistent pressure on Matt Ryan, and he's able to work off play action, then this thing could get ugly and hurt. I mean, it could be a repeat in terms of from a time of possession standpoint. It could be a repeat of last week. So Dallas is an 8-point favorite. Now, I'm just straight no chaser, baby. We don't cut it here. This could be a repeat of last week because there's legitimate matchup concerns when you got who you got at quarterback. Rich, I'm gonna go back to a point you made a minute ago. If Matt Ryan had been running that offense last week with the way Denver was cooking, that would have been a 50-piece. To your point earlier, because I think we're definitely upgrading the level, and if we can keep it a buck in terms of like arm talent and just quarterbacking talent. So there's a real concern going in this deal, man. I'm interested to see what Dan Quinn cooks up with like you said, the most impactful player off the field. Is Diggs' confidence a little shaken out? That's yet to be seen because he got work.
I guess that's the only inside privilege I think that the Cowboys have is that Dan Quinn has the privilege of coaching Matt Ryan, so he should, and I qualify, should know his flaws and should know how to manage him. He had to, deal with him every day in practice. I think he was there 3 years, I believe. in Atlanta?
Say 3.
I can't recall.
Probably speak to that.
I think
3.
He's had enough time to scout Matt Ryan with his own eyes and know what his flaws are.
That's a great point.
He should.
Great point, Rich.
But at the same time, to your point, Darren, where's the pressure going to come from without Randy Gregory? So you're going to have to put Micah Parsons back on the line, which further exposes a huge problem that we already have is the ability to stop the run. You don't have Jabril Cox, who I thought did an outstanding job at middle linebacker. You don't have him.
You done triggered Darren, man.
Yeah, you got Keanu Neal, special teams guy,
Mr. LSU.
And then of course you're gonna go to one of my favorite guys that I like to talk about. I call him Leighton Vander Ouch because he's probably injured while watching this podcast this morning, and AKA Mr. Poor Run Pursuit Angle himself.
Oh shit!
So I went to go get coffee this morning, and I ran right past him and got a first down on the way to get a cup of coffee. So I mean.
He pursued the wrong angle on you, Rich.
Yeah. This is the guy that I bet when he drives, he put the left turn signal on and turn right. Like this dude just can't get he can't get it. I don't know what's wrong with that cat, man. So
that's funny, man. Shout out to Minnie. She says she relocated to Texas, so I'm giving you Cowboys a fair chance to win my heart. Well, it's not always great days over here on this side.
No. But being a Falcons fan, I understand. Because we have the same experiences that we've been let down so many times by the Cowboys, and I'm sure Falcons fans can relate to that. So,
I'm gonna say at least we got the success overall. Falcons fans, y'all don't have a lot of success as a franchise.
They got old rings, they got no rings. So
y'all been around since been pimping. And they ain't got nothing to show for it. I'm just saying. So if there's a selling point, I would say, you got the old rings to talk about. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about it until I die. I don't care what
the only thing is, from a personnel perspective, they have a lot of injuries on the Falcon side of the ball. They got a ton of injuries, and you don't have Julio Jones there no more. So
that's a big piece.
Ridley's out too, right?
Ridley's out also.
Ridley's out.
Well, Ridley's on he's taking a mental health break or whatever you want to call it. So his season's done. They're starting Cordell Patterson and running back. So he's really a receiver, but they started.
They got Kyle Pitts too. He's doing all right, right?
He's doing all right, but I mean, he's not making the type of impact that they thought he was going to make. Because all you got to do is put him in a bracket. You ain't got to worry about him because who's your other receiving threat?
Yeah.
So he's been seeing vertical brackets or L bracket coverage all year long. Poor guy. They slaughter. I hope his contract not tied to his stats because they've been draining that kid all year long because he's been, the safety shadowing him the whole way, or they use the linebacker, in the middle and shade him over to the sideline. So he's not eating like he's capable of. The kid he's a freak. He's gonna be a star in the league. Yeah. He got to get some more pieces around him, and he'll have a chance.
You get Matt Ryan ass out of there when you retool. It'll come.
Well, man, the thing the two guys you just mentioned, Rich, those are the two guys I was concerned with, because today is not the day for them to have career games.
Mm-hmm.
And Pitts, and especially Patterson, because as crazy as it is, because he's listed as a wideout, he's put in the backfield. Man, that dude's a really nice runner. And he's one of those cats, and we know his open field capabilities. Like if he gets if he breaks, in the open field, this dude can make things happen. I mean, this dude has made a living in a return game. So it's just one of these games, man, where Dan Quinn is going to dial up, what he needs to dial up. Those guys have to go in, show some pride, and like, okay, man, we got our ass thoroughly kicked last week. We got to have pride enough to go out here, man. And then you got to keep it in the perspective of if you're Dallas, okay, we laid an entire egg at the crib last week. But that's one game. And then you look at the NFC standings, bro, you need to stay connected. You need to start dropping games that you should win because at the end of the day,
you're right. They need to shut the door on the NFC East early and then start working on home field advantage.
Exactly right. Exactly. So there's a lot of motivation, and it should be, on the whiteboard this morning. There should be a lot of bullet points, or at least enough of the right ones, for this team to hit that field today, particularly from a defensive standpoint. Really, the whole team. I won't put that on defense. Really, from a whole team standpoint. Man, look, everybody sucked. Coaches sucked. Offense sucked. Special teams sucked. Defense sucked. We all got to go
Everybody.
out everybody pissed off. An attitude is like, man, look, we are better than this, and this is the team we should be. We need to line up and go out there and did what Denver did to us and go out and kick their ass. That's how they need to hit that field because nobody executed worth a damn. And it starts with QB1.
Yeah, it starts with QB1 because he is the provocateur of our team, and he is the emotional support of our team. And like Brent was saying, our tackling was so bad last week, man. Like guys giving second effort after first contact. That's unacceptable, man. If we're gonna talk about Super Bowl prognostications, you gotta, man, that's where you win Super Bowls at. That's where you win important games. Is solid, sound tackling, which people won't come on a podcast and talking about. Nobody talks about sound, flush tackling. People will talk about the obvious shit. But those, man, great comment, Brent. Those are the things that separate great teams from good to talented teams. And we gotta be more flush in that department. And shout out to P. Rose as well. So them boys can't mess around today. Just go in and handle business. It gotta be straight transactional.
Right,
because business today.
Then looking ahead, this, like I said, I don't take any team for granted, but looking ahead at the schedule, you got the Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, and the Washington football team in the next 4 weeks. Those are not easy games. So you definitely don't want to go into Arrowhead.
You don't want to get a hold. Yeah.
And a rejuvenated Chiefs team they're now back in the AFC West race because they're like a game behind the Chargers.
Which we all knew. We all knew.
We all knew they were going to be right. So,
right.
So you don't want to give
and what you also and to extend Richard's point, you also want to get back to that feeling that you had prior to the Denver game. In other words, don't let that linger. This is a prime opportunity again for us to see, and for us to see as fans, and for them to prove to themselves that, hey man, don't let that fester. It was at a bad taste. You let that bad taste motivate you all throughout this week, and then you go do something about it Sunday. But you want to get back to that feeling because you're about to get into this grind with weeks and tough opponents. And if you are what what the optics are starting to look like that you are, then there's some proving ground to be shown here over the next 5 weeks, starting today. Get that bad taste out of your mouth today and go handle business and get back into that framework of the winning mindset to attack this grind that you come in with the 4 weeks after this game. So every game has its own motivation and storyline. And today, if I can go to Minnie's contribution by word of the day, how about redemption? That's what today's about. From last week, last week. Redemption. That's what
you said your word of the week is what, D. Brown?
Redemption. I
like it.
Redemption.
Richard Walker, what you got, man? Word of the week.
I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to say it once again. The word of the day for me is execution. If they go out there and turn around and hand Zeke Elliott the football and hand Tony Pollard the football, get your tight ends involved, make the adjustments necessary to give Dak Prescott the time to do his thing. So help out the Terence Steele at left tackle. This is on you, Beaver. You need to look and see what happened last week and learn from that. Amari Cooper, we need you to make up for that drop. We need CeeDee Lamb. We need you back. And now we got Michael Gallup back. So
damn.
Yeah, Michael Gallup's back.
Yep.
So he played for the Cowboys.
Offensively, execute. Defensively, we know you're short staff, but don't nobody care nothing about that. You're a grown man. You're getting a paycheck. You have an NFL contract. You have a job to do. Micah Parsons, do your thing on the line, but we definitely need to see the contribution from. And I'm nervous to say this: the linebackers and run support and short coverage. Terrence Diggs, I hope you spent the whole week. You shouldn't have taken no days off. I hope you spent the whole week in the film room because there's some things that got
I'm sure he did, and I'm sure
exposed on you, man. So
yeah.
I appreciate the vigor and the intensity, and I love the fact that you got that mentality of, always trying to find a turnover. But you got to find a balance with that too, my man.
Damn right.
You can't keep getting beat,
Damn
so right. Word of the week, execution.
My word of the week is break them boys off. I know that's not a word. I know that's a phrase, but if you from Texas, break them boys off is one word.
Boys off.
Break them boys off, man. Hey, get in their ass early
I love it.
and often. Yeah. And you don't leave any doubt who the better football team is. You come and punch them in the mouth real hard. Right. And that's what I want to see today.
You should send a message to everyone else to let them know, hey, we're not down because of this. We rebounded, and we're going to continue to be physical and intense and tough. And
but within the framework of being stable, with the framework of executing. But we coming out there looking for turnovers early. We coming to score early, take you out the game. And as we all know, we all play basketball or football at a high level. We know, man, once you let bad teams hang around, bad teams don't know who bad no more. Mm-hmm. It's just about we dudes who lace our shoes up the same way. Would you say, Darren?
Absolutely. And we saw a manifestation of that last week. It's like, and not necessarily that Denver's bad, but let's be clear. Everybody, including Denver fans, that Dallas was the better team. But the confidence grew. Like you said, wait a minute. We can beat these fools. And then the game we're on is that we go beat these fools, and that's exactly how they play. So but I love how the three words that we all chose, how they all lend themselves to each other. If they break them boys off, and execute doing so, then they get redemption. Mm-hmm. I like how I tied that in, like off the head.
There you go. There you go. Because we capable of it, so I don't sell my team short. I don't sell my team short because we capable of it. So appreciate you, Minnie, for reminding us for the word of the week. So let's do two things. We're gonna do the infamous. I need some
Lucky Whitehead Award.
Lucky.
It's the infamous MOEB Lucky Whitehead Award.
I do have a quick question for you, ask.
What you got?
Is the Lucky Whitehead Award be anybody that played the game on either team or just relative to the Cowboys?
Man, that shit can mean whatever the hell you want to mean.
That's. I was actually thinking that because I actually have a winner for the opposing team. I was actually going to give my Lucky Whitehead Award to Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
Just he had an outstanding game last week. He was. I made the comment. They made Melvin Gordon look like Terrell Davis last week.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
He looked like a world beater.
And we said that in the stream. We was like, I don't fear Melvin Gordon, and he annihilated us.
Gordon.
Yep.
I thought about that too.
That's
exactly what happened. Man,
what you got,
Whitehead Award. I got Bridgewater, man. I thought Bridgewater was outstanding. I did. I mean, he just had he marched out there from Series 1. I mean, because how many long drives did Denver go? They had some big plays in there, but how many long drives where he's converting third downs and he just looked so calm. I mean,
they had that 90+ yard drive that they punted the ball inside the 10 and he drove them all the way down and scored like it was nothing.
And like it was nothing, but he was just in complete command. He was out there. He was relaxed. He was confident. He's showing tight shots of with the face mask. He grinning and shit. I'm like, he out there looking like a world beater. So got to give Philip Bridgewater my Lucky Whitehead Award this week.
Old Teddy Two Gloves.
There you go. Well, my Lucky Whitehead Award goes to these nuts. Nobody get it. Nobody. These nuts is who get the award for last week with that stinker of a game. You don't get the prestige of the Lucky Whitehead Award with that bullshit ass performance. Fuck all y'all. Y'all don't get nothing.
No cut. That's how I go.
You get nothing. No soup for you.
Oh, I love it.
Nobody. The Confident Lucky Whitehead Award, I don't just get that out.
I'm telling you that when you had two hosts of this show give it to members of the other team on the Cowboys podcast, and then the third member was like,
they got their ass whipped too bad to get any type of award.
You don't pass out anything like it.
They don't get shit. No soup for you.
So, yeah, nobody from the
You get
Cowboys
nothing.
gets no love because they didn't deserve it.
You lucky we did a podcast this week, Cowboys. That weak ass performance last week. You lucky we did a podcast.
Yeah,
that's what you get. You get a podcast out of sympathy just because we about consistency over here.
Yes, sir.
Something that y'all didn't know about last week. So I'm gonna challenge y'all to get y'all mind right and break them boys out.
Get your shit together, man.
Get your shit together, goddammit. So shout out to P Rose, man, with the comment. Win convincingly. So let's get into the last part of the show with the predictions. Now I pulled the burger out last week, and the burger put that bitch right back in the bag. It shouldn't even be made.
That burger was raw, was never cooked.
That bad boy was spoiled. That bad boy had mold on it. Yeah. And we damn near got burgered up, the other way. So
the other way, man.
So but with that being said, P Rose almost got that burger out. But I'm gonna ask you, gentlemen, first. Let's start with you, Rich, man. Predictions for this week, man. What you got?
I got too many concerns on the defensive side of the football for the Cowboys. I think offense is gonna have to win the game today. I'm gonna go 34-31 Cowboys in the shootout.
Just like last year. I mean, now we had to pull one out our ass, but it was a shootout, more or less. All right. D Brown, what you got?
Yeah. I echo Richard's sentiments completely. I think the game within the game, we're usually pretty good on this show at doing this, like pretty much predicting how this game flow should go. The big reversal that's going to happen from last week is time of possession. And that's Dallas' strength, even with a reshuffled deck up front. But if that defense, I'll say this, if that defense is on the field anywhere near like they were last week, they're going to get handled. But I expect the adjustment to be made. I think it's going to come the biggest adjustment to protect. I mean, still, like you guys alluded to earlier, could be heavy dose for the run game. I think it's going to be a quick passing game to the backside of the backfield. I expect Dallas to get back in the time of possession, the positive side of that ledger. And but the defense still going to give up plays. So I got 31-27 in a tight one, Dallas.
Okay. My mind ebbs a lot of ways. Last week has tempered my predictions, going forward, because obviously I gaffed last week. I mean, who could have saw that coming? So I approached things going forward with a more guarded sense of reality, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, but with it also, I want to think my coaching staff is competent enough to shore up those things that obviously that we were deficient in: run defense, offensive execution, blah 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 blah. I think we've done that. So I'm factoring both of those things in as we go forward, and I want to say that if we're the team I think we are, we're going to mop their ass. Now, can it be exactly what y'all saying, a shootout type? Without lacking on defense, that's probably the most probable thing. Maybe I'm saying with my fan hat, my non-Cowboys fan hat is on right now. I say we whipped our ass, because if we're as good as a team as we think we are, we gotta mop these dudes, man. We gotta mop them. So I'm not gonna bring the burger out this week. I'm going 31-17. We handle business. And actually, P. Rose got a more liberal approach than I, but I'm going to go 31-17. We got to go out and handle business, man. I think we are that good of a team. That's why I never got so high. We never said the SB word about what's going on. Everybody has been doing the affiliates, which they do every win we get.
Affiliate bullshit, yeah. We don't do affiliate shit on this show.
We don't do the affiliate thing.
They probably had a blue light special on Cowboys gear in all of the stores this week.
Facts. It's ridiculous. So, I'm going 31-17 Cowboys. We handle business. We're the better team. We go out and show we're the better team. I just don't think we have another game where we have 2 fourth down, turnover on possessions. What's the shit called? What's it called? Turnover down. I'm sorry. I think that was the recipe for fuckery. I don't think we repeat that. I just that's really hard to do. To have 2 turnover on downs to start a football game. You just don't see that. So I'm going to ebb with logic and fandom, and I'm going to say 31-17 Cowboys.
You could have just said that you hope that the Cowboys avenge the Astros for losing the damn World Series. We could have just left it at that.
Y'all stream over. Y'all.
You got a Georgia team coming to Texas, man. We can't take 2 L's in 1 year.
I don't like it.
I don't.
See, so just like last week, I didn't watch no Shannon, no Skip. To me, last week didn't happen. So with the Astros, it didn't happen. So, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. P-Rose says they have to prove last week was an aberration.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was. They got a stump more. Yeah, we go. We got a stump more. There you go. That's the long and short of it. And I have confidence in my team because we are that good. But I just don't believe in all the other prognostications like, Trayvon Diggs is Darrell Reeves. I like, I just
don't
think
do that.
Don't
do that to either one of them. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that to Darrell
You don't
Reeves.
have to do that.
Don't do that to Trayvon Diggs. Don't do that.
No.
I hate when that's affiliate shit. I hate when affiliates do that. The guy, like I said at the beginning, the guy is a budding,
and it's disrespectful to those
star.
Legends, man, because how many years of work them guys put in? Richard Sherman, Darrell Reeves,
he's up.
Dion, and come on, man. Like that's earned, right?
He just has to happen to have a streak that's it's an anomaly. He have to have an interception streak that we ain't seen. It doesn't make you the best cornerback just because. So I akin that to a point guard who gets a lot of steals. But you're not necessarily the best defender. And I give Lonzo Ball a lot of credit in this regard. Lonzo is real good standing in front of this guy, shutting him down. And he can get steals too. But you juxtapose that with another guy like, let's say,
wasn't James Harden one of the league leaders in steals one of those years?
Oh,
I believe he was up there. I recall he was top 10 at least.
Yeah,
but we all know damn well James Harden is not a great one-on-one defender.
Exactly.
We know that.
Right. Steph Curry was up there one year.
Right.
Steph Curry's a horrible defender.
There. Allen Iverson's been there. I think it's where you
born. All they do is shoot the gaps.
Magic.
Right.
Magic was
it's not defense.
Big time steals guy.
Right.
He wasn't just a great on-ball defender, but Magic was a big steals guy.
Yeah.
So,
right.
I get it. That's a great point. Great point.
So that's all I'm saying. So for the Trayvon Diggs praise, I always look at, man, I've always been trained that the way to play defense is you stay in front of your man. Stay in front of your man.
Let him become.
Right.
Let him become. Matter of fact, because here's a name that we throw out the great names of what I call true shutdown corners. The Woodsons, Charles and Rod. The Reeveses, obviously Dion. The Darryl Greens, those type. But one cat that never gets mentioned. And I'm gonna take this opportunity. I would love to see Trayvon Diggs become Aeneas Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Aeneas Williams, yeah. Hell yeah.
That guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. HBCU in the building.
Rich, I know
Southern University. What's up?
Aeneas Williams. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was a guy. He was never like the guys on the field and the guys around the league. You knew, and obviously the Hall of Fame because he's in it. But he was that dude. You look up, man, and he was that guy that you really didn't want to play with week in and week out for years, and when you tried him, you paid the price. And he was. You
never heard his name because nobody never messed with him.
Exactly. I want Trayvon Diggs to become an Aeneas Williams type because he's like the non-sexy but hellaciously productive cornerback. Is like, damn, don't try that dude because right now he's like, okay, I see you getting these picks, but can you get this? People still are not shying away from him not to try it. So he's got to become. Absolutely not. He's got to become that guy. So let's let him do that. All you affiliates out there, fall back.
I'm actually good with Trayvon being the Dion reincarnate, but I want him to be more technically sound. And I want us to, Anthony Brown, Anthony Brown is Anthony Brown. So I want us to get another guy who can be a Aeneas Williams. But I'm good with a guy because, if we've been honest, we ain't had a marquee cornerback since Dion.
Right.
We tried to bring Pac-Man Jones in, and he had his spurts, but it is what it is. The Pac-Man Jones.
And people need to stop being Dion because Dion has God-given talent. He had the ability to fool quarterbacks into throwing his way because he can cover 5 yards like that. I've never seen another cat since him that can do that. He would get beat and he would recover faster than anybody that's ever worn cleats. So you think your guy's open, You throw it this way, and he ain't even worried about trying to cover. He's worried about where the ball going. He was a receiver playing out of position. That's all Dion was. Yeah. So to try to duplicate what he did is a mistake because if you don't have his gifts, it's not going to work.
Yeah, Trayvon had some of that because he too was a converted receiver, as the backstory goes.
Right.
So I'm cool with that.
And we've actually seen him close, like in that Giants game. We've seen him do that. Where Trayvon Diggs' learning curve has to improve is his over-aggression.
Man, you know how great Dion Sanders was, man? Like this cat, he said once he would come to the line and he would look at the receiver's feet. And the first 2 steps, he knew what route they were going to run.
Right.
Come on, man.
That's crazy attention to detail.
He watched the first 2 steps and he knew what they were going.
That's a fun. Yeah.
Right. That's come on, man.
Dudes like that succeed in anything you're gonna do.
Right.
You just got the gift. It's right. You just now I would say this when I played basketball, I knew from your gather, I knew how you was gonna finish. So I used to block shots pretty well. I'm only 6'7". I ain't that tall. But I block shots pretty high at a high proficiency. Because I could read that. Like if you win and you gather, it's only so many things you can do. If you take
certain cats just got that gift, man. Rodman used to look at the rotation of the ball, and he knew certain shooters would shoot the ball this way. Okay, the ball's coming out this way. Certain guys shoot that way. And this is why he was always in position for the rebound.
Rodman used to pay a dude to shoot, and he just rebound. How many dudes can you say have said some shit like that?
And Rodman's what, 6'6"? Wouldn't Rodman like 6'6"?
6'6" to 6'8".
Out rebounding 7-footers.
Come on, man.
Defending them too.
Because those things matter. Like if you have anticipation skills, absolutely. So, man. So, man, great episode. I know we run a little long. Gentlemen, great show as always. Appreciate y'all. Straight no chaser.
Yes, sir. Straight no chaser. Hey, man, let's get some get back.
Let's get some goddamn get back.
Let's get some get back. And look, and like the Atlanta bred Migos put out there, don't nothing get straight. But straight. You know what I'm talking about?
There you go, goddammit. There you go. Appreciate the chat. Y'all hit the like button on the way out, man. If y'all like the show, we love doing it for y'all. P. Rose says real quick, I was a ball hawk when I played football. I never played corner. I played free safety. Yeah. Everybody don't have the ability to be a ball hawk, man. And that's why the ones who are really good at it, they get paid handsomely.
Right. And that's sometimes what separates a good player from a great player and a great player from a legend.
Absolutely. And that's what it is. So next week we back on Cowboys. Y'all know what time we play. We play at noon, noon Central Time.
Yes. No. This next week is 3 o'clock in Kansas City.
No, I'm saying today. What time we play?
Oh, today's a noon, in a few minutes.
They kick off 15 minutes.
All right,
I'm not getting off. Y'all remember we got 2 shows next week because you got the Sunday game, then we turn right back around and hit it again
for Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, man. Hey, and we're gonna have some former Cowboys on this show. Just to let y'all know, man. We ain't gonna shortchange it. Straight no chaser, man.
Straight no chaser, no cut.
Darren, I'm not leaving until you pull up. Hey, man, we don't do no prop shots over here.
No, sir. No, sir. We true to it, baby.
True to it, like we ain't new to it. There you go, man. Thank y'all so much, fellas. And so to next week, we out this bitch. And Kirsten Perkins, take us home, goddammit.
Shout out to Hoop Shark, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Shark. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Shark. Shout out to Hoop Shark.